Kimberly Smithbauer Roseblade, and I'm a Western martial arts practitioner and instructor at Academy Duello in downtown Vancouver. Other sports, you see that there is often a specific body type that's associated with it. You're either very, very stout and broad, or you're tall and slender. When you look at Western martial artists, we don't really have a particular body type. There are people of all different shapes and sizes, heights. We have a very strong, fairly balanced role amount of men and women in the sport as well, because the sword really does act as the great equalizer. And I find that, yes, sometimes my height and stuff like that can be as much of an advantage as it is a disadvantage, depending on who I'm fighting and how we're fighting. Also, just the way that women's center of gravity is placed differently than men's in our bodies. Like, we are very oriented in our hips, and our waist sort of is where we center our gravity, where men are a little bit more top heavy. This actually acts as a benefit when it comes to fighting, for me at least, in heavier armor with the kind of stances and stuff that we use. We're so lucky to be women that are born in North America now. Even though feminism still has a long way to go, we are so much luckier than a lot of other women in the world that are still fighting to do things like have an education. And yet here I am, a woman that, if I was doing what I am doing 200 or 300 years ago, I could have been burned at the stake. I would have been very, very much ostracized. And even, women, when we look at strong figures from history like Grace O'Malley or Joan of Arc, they were often, their femininity was questioned, by the men in their time and other women in their time. Those aren't quote unquote real women. Whereas now I can be a sword wielding badass, but also, have this maternal instinct where I want to cook for those that I love and sew and clean my house and have all of these things still identify me as a woman.